Today, we're taking a really fascinating piece of research and turning it into something you can actually use, a practical checklist for your professional life. So let's get right to it.
Okay, so do you ever feel like you're being pulled in a million different directions? We all have these huge ambitions and big goals, right? But let's be honest, the path from that great idea to a real achievement, well, it can feel like you're trying to untangle a giant knot. It's so easy to get lost.
And that feeling, right there, that's what we're calling the professional's dilemma. You have all the drive in the world, but it feels like you're missing the map. And this is where it gets really interesting, because research is super clear on this. Ambition all by itself just isn't enough. Dreaming about success is one thing, but it's a whole different ballgame from having a concrete, written-down plan. The ambition is there for sure. It's the simple structure that's often the missing piece.
So what's the fix? You might think it's some complicated new productivity system or a fancy app, but what if it's not? What if the solution is actually a surprisingly simple tool, one you already know how to use, just aimed in a new direction? And here it is, the professional checklist. Now I know what you might be thinking, a checklist? But this is not for your grocery run. Nope, this is a powerful, personalized list of reminders, a guide for the really important stuff, like the core skills and mindsets that help you make sense of your work and actually drive your success.
And listen, this isn't just some nice idea. It's been battle-tested in the most high-stakes environments you can imagine. Dr. Atul Gawande proved that in hospitals, simple checklists, literally, and I mean literally, saved lives by preventing critical errors. So if it can do that for surgeons, just imagine what that same principle can do for your career. Okay, so you're probably asking, what actually goes on this checklist? Great question. Let's start building your communication toolkit with the essential skills that the research really highlights.
First up, storytelling. This is huge. It's how we make our work meaningful. A good story forges connections, builds a shared vision for a team, and can turn a totally routine job into a compelling mission that people actually care about. Of course, telling a great story is pretty pointless if no one is truly listening. And active listening, it's so much more than just waiting for your turn to talk. It's about consciously getting past all the noise in our own heads, the distractions, the assumptions, to hear what's actually being said. It all really comes back to this timeless piece of wisdom from Stephen R. Covey. The kind of communication that builds trust and solves real problems, it always starts with genuinely trying to understand the other person's perspective first. And when you put those two things together, powerful storytelling and deep listening, you get incredible results. You create a culture where everyone, from the top leader to the janitor in that famous NASA story, understands exactly how their work connects to the bigger mission. They're not just cleaning floors, they're helping put a person on the moon. But what happens when that kind of collaboration just completely breaks down under extreme pressure? The tragic story of the Man Gulch fire gives us a powerful lesson in what researchers call sensemaking. You have this elite team of firefighters who parachute in to fight what seems like a routine fire. But then the blaze just explodes. It starts racing toward them at 600 feet per minute, way too fast to outrun. In this impossible situation, the foreman Wag Dodge invents a radical, unheard-of solution on the spot. He starts lighting a fire at his own feet to burn away the grass in his path. But in the chaos, there was a total breakdown in communication. His team couldn't make sense of it. It was completely counterintuitive. They didn't trust the idea, so they ran. Dodge lit his escape fire, laid down in the ashes as the main blaze roared over him, and he survived. 13 of his men did not. This story just raises such a powerful question for our own work, doesn't it? It's a brutal reminder of why we need a culture and maybe even a checklist item that encourages us to listen to those unconventional escape fire ideas, especially when the stakes are high. Now, building this toolkit isn't just about external skills. It's also about being aware of the internal obstacles, those cognitive biases and mental shortcuts that can quietly cloud our judgment and sabotage our best intentions. One of the biggest traps is the fundamental attribution error. It's our instinct to judge a person's character based on what they do, while totally ignoring the situation they're in. Just look at these two extreme real-life examples. We see the action and we immediately judge the person without ever knowing the powerful, unseen forces at play. And there are other common traps to add to your mental checklist. The Dunning-Kruger effect, where you're so inexperienced you don't even know what you don't know. The anchoring effect, where the first number you hear gets stuck in your head. And of course, optimism bias, where we all think things will go way smoother than they actually do. Just knowing these exist is the first step. So now that we know about these internal challenges,
Let's see how this whole toolkit actually applies to two critical real-world skills: crafting a resume that gets noticed and negotiating effectively.
Your resume needs to be more than just a list of jobs. It has to be your professional story. The research is clear. The best resumes answer one simple question: how did I make things better here? So frame your experience as a story of growth, resilience, and, most importantly, measurable impact.
And when it comes to workplace conflict, which is pretty much inevitable, these 4 principles are your guide. This framework helps you shift from a win-lose fight to a win-win collaboration. You do that by focusing on what everybody really needs, instead of just digging in on your position.
At the end of the day, this checklist isn't about becoming some productivity robot or trying to be someone you're not. It's really just a tool to help you become a more effective, a more mindful, and a more authentic version of yourself.
True, lasting professional growth really comes from aligning your day-to-day actions with your core values. And that kind of approach, it doesn't just lead to better decisions and more success, it builds a professional life that's sustainable and, actually fulfilling.
So, it turns out that a simple, personalized checklist can be a seriously powerful tool for your own development, helping you find more success and balance. It's a simple idea with just a ton of potential. So, what's the first thing you'll add to yours?